He came from a place most people couldn't find on a map: Hillsborough, Kansas, a quiet farming town where windmills stood taller than hope, and the biggest dream was just getting out. This is the story of Lucas Reed. His father was a truck driver, gone for weeks at a time. His mother worked double shifts at a diner. Money was always tight, and arguments were more predictable than sunsets. But Lucas had something no one else seemed to have: a relentless curiosity. He wanted to know how machines worked, how airplanes flew, and why the stars he saw every night looked so close yet remained so far away. More than anything, he wanted to build something that mattered. But in a town where people told you dreams don't pay bills, Lucas often felt his desire to dream was a burden, not a blessing. One night, while his mum served coffee to late-night travelers, Lucas sat in a corner booth doing homework. A tired man in a NASA jacket walked in. Lucas's eyes widened. He'd only seen that on TV. The man noticed the boy staring. "You like space, kid?" he asked. Lucas nodded shyly. "What's your name?" "Lucas." "Well, Lucas, you know, what's the most powerful thing in the universe?" Lucas thought for a second. "Stars." The man smiled. "No, dreams. Because dreams build the ships that reach the stars." That single sentence, spoken by a stranger, became the turning point of his life. He went home and wrote on a torn notebook page, "I will build something that reaches the world." It was the first real goal he ever set for himself. High school wasn't kind to dreamers. Lucas wasn't popular. He didn't play football. His clothes were old. His shoes were older. Kids called him nerd, robot boy, the crazy engineer. But he didn't care. He spent his nights watching YouTube tutorials on coding, robotics, and AI. He built small robots from scrap parts he found in junkyards. Sometimes they worked, sometimes they didn't, but every failure felt like a step forward. At home, things got worse. His father lost his job. The mortgage payments fell behind. Some nights, the electricity went out, and Lucas studied by flashlight. Still, he refused to quit. One day, his teacher, Miss Howard, told him something he'd never forget. "Lucas, genius is not about being smart. Genius is consistency in the face of pain." Those words became fuel for his fire. He applied to the top engineering programs. MIT rejected. Stanford rejected. University of Texas rejected. His grades were great, but his test scores were just average, and he had no fancy extracurriculars to show. When the fourth rejection letter came, he felt his chest collapse. He walked out behind the school gym, sat on the cold concrete, and cried silently. Maybe everyone was right. Maybe kids like him weren't meant to dream big. Later that evening, he found his mum at the kitchen table, overdue bills spread out like battlefield casualties. Without looking up, she said, "Lucas, some of us aren't meant to fly." He didn't blame her. Life had broken her long before it tried to break him. He went to bed and stared at the ceiling, hearing the NASA man's voice echo. "Dreams build the ships that reach the stars." but dreams also hurt a lot. Lucas finally got accepted into Wichita State University. It wasn't famous like MIT or glamorous like Stanford, but it was enough. He worked part-time in the university cafeteria, mopping floors and washing dishes, saving every cent. He slept 4 to 5 hours a night and lived off instant noodles. During his sophomore year, he entered a nationwide robotics challenge. He was a nobody, from a nowhere university, up against kids with deep pockets and corporate sponsorships. The night before the submission deadline, his robot malfunctioned. Smoke poured from the circuit board. Half his work was gone. In that moment of utter defeat, he called his mother. She said, "Lucas, I wish life was easier for you, but you're the strongest person I know. You'll fix it. You always do." And he did. He rebuilt everything in 9 exhausting hours. His robot didn't win first place. It didn't even win second. It won nothing. But something better happened. A man from a tech startup in Boston approached him. "You didn't win," the man said, "but you're the only contestant who refused to quit. I want you to intern with us." That offer changed everything. Boston felt like another planet. Tall buildings, fast people, ambitious minds. He joined the startup Aranora and learned more in 3 months than in 2 years of college. He worked day and night, missing meals, skipping parties. His dedication caught the eye of the CEO, Alina Grant, a visionary who was tough, sharp, and brutally honest. One night, she found Lucas working at 2 a.m. "You know," she said, "smart people are everywhere in this city, but people who outwork failure, that's rare. Don't lose that." For the first time, someone saw him not as a poor kid from Kansas, but as someone valuable. At 21, Lucas developed a prototype drone that could deliver medical supplies in disaster zones faster than any helicopter. But life doesn't reward genius immediately. Investors rejected it. Government officials ignored it. The startup ran out of money. When Aranora temporarily shut down, Lucas was devastated. He had no job, no income, and no backup plan. He slept on a friend's couch, ate 1 meal a day, and walked miles through the winter snow to save bus fare. Then one night, Alina called. "Lucas, we're reopening. I showed your drone prototype to someone at FEMA. They want a demo." He froze. This could change everything. The demo day was chaos. The wind was too strong. Equipment malfunctioned. Time was running out. A FEMA official said, "We'll need to reschedule." Lucas panicked. All his dreams were about to fall apart. But he looked at the official and said, "Sir, disasters don't wait for perfect weather. Neither do we." He launched the drone manually. It fought the wind. It trembled. It dropped a few inches. Then it stabilized. It flew across the field, delivered the medical pack, and returned perfectly. The official walked over and shook Lucas's hand. "We're approving a federal contract." Lucas stood frozen, tears filling his eyes as Alina hugged him. "You did it," she whispered. The Kansas boy changed the world. By 27, Lucas was one of the youngest innovators invited to speak at the White House. His drones were saving lives worldwide in earthquakes, floods, and hurricanes. But fame wasn't what changed him. What changed him were the letters he received from paramedics, from nurses, from families saying, "Your invention saved my brother." "Your drone brought insulin to my grandmother. Because of you, my child is alive." Lucas realized success isn't what you achieve. Success is who you help. Years later, Lucas returned to Hillsborough. The old diner was still there. The windmills still turned. His mother waited at the door, crying as she saw how far her son had come. "Mum," Lucas said softly, "you once told me some of us aren't meant to fly." She wiped his tears. "I was wrong. You were born to..." Lucas donated millions to build tech centers for young dreamers in small towns across America, kids just like him who felt forgotten and underestimated. At the opening ceremony, he stood on stage and said, "To every kid from a small town, your zip code is not your destiny. Your parents' paycheck is not your potential. Your struggle is not your future. You are allowed to dream big. You are allowed to fail. You are allowed to rise. And if no one believes in you, believe in yourself. That's enough." Lucas Reed became a national symbol of American resilience. A reminder that greatness can come from anywhere. But if you asked him what he was most proud of, he never mentioned the money or the awards. He always said, "I'm proud I didn't quit." Because that was the true story, not a genius, not a lucky break. Just a boy from nowhere who refused to stay nowhere. If you're watching this now, remember this. Your dream, no matter how small, strange, or impossible it seems, matters. You don't need wealth, perfect grades, or connections. You just need courage. The road will be long. You will fall, you will cry, you will break. But if you refuse to quit, you will rise. Just like Lucas, thanks for watching. If this story inspired you, please share it with someone who needs to hear it. And subscribe for more stories of people who changed the world.